Hey guys, this is BiXX. Welcome to Mentoring Monday. In the last Mentoring Monday topic, I spoke about arrogance, mostly from the standpoint of how and why arrogance will lead to our downfall and what we can do to keep from being arrogant, because it definitely is going to lead to our downfall. So if you did not see the first video on arrogance, please check it out. It came out 2 weeks ago. Looking back at the most difficult times in my life, nearly all of them were caused by me being arrogant in some form or fashion. This topic is so important that I wanted to explore it a little further. So today, I'll talk about the signs to recognize when we are arrogant, even though we don't feel like we are. Do you know people who have an addiction or a major problem? Chances are they don't admit it or recognize that they even have a problem. You know they have a problem, but they can't see it. They're in that denial stage. 75% of taking steps towards solving any problem is the recognition and admitting of the problem. Okay, so here are 15 signs. We're going to talk about them pretty quickly. That you're arrogant, even though you don't think you are. Before I go into this, I want to say that we all at times in our lives can drift towards arrogance, but if we recognize when this is happening, we can catch ourselves. So here are the 15 signs. You're constantly late. So what you're saying when you're late is you don't respect other people's time. It's all about you. My staff told me one time that you're constantly late to our meetings. We feel offended. So I was wrong. They told me one time and I never did it again. Number 2, you constantly interrupt others. We do this because we feel like we have something more important to say. We have little regard for the opinion of others. When you feel this happening, take a deep breath and pause because you feel it coming on. Number 3, you believe that you're better than others. This could be looks, intelligence, status. We believe that we should be treated better. Number 4, you go out of your way to be right. You get into extreme defensive mode to prove you're right, and then even brag about it. I feel this is caused by some insecure, low self-esteem type inner feelings. So it's really important you kind of get in touch with that. What's causing that? Number 5, you think your status is more important than whatever contribution you make. You get what you give in life, no shortcuts. Like, for example, if you're born into money, this only gets you so far. It won't make you happy or earn respect from others. They watch what you're doing. It's all about what you do and contribute. Number 6, when asked, can you do it? You always say yes. Don't be afraid to say no. It doesn't mean that you have a flaw. It just means your time is limited. We all have that same finite amount of time, so we need to learn to say no. Number 7, you seem to question everyone's ability to get the job done. So therefore, people ask you to believe in them rather than criticize them. People will work harder for you when they can trust you and they know that you care about them. Number 8, you despise the weak. You can't tolerate when someone does not take responsibility. This shows a lack of empathy. It also shows you may not have experienced enough failure in your life. You're not taking enough risks. You have a hard time self-reflecting. You have a hard time looking back at your failures and your weaknesses. This is actually one of the most fun parts of life, self-reflecting on what we did wrong and learning from it and what we can do better in the future. I learned so much more from my mistakes. Number 10, you love to be talked about. Anytime there's a discussion, you want it to be about you. And you want everyone to agree with your opinion. What if our opinion or our plan is wrong or it's just bad? We want people around us to tell us what is wrong so we can improve it. We don't want yes people all around us. Many leaders' downfall is all because they have a bunch of yes people who are afraid to tell them the truth. Number 11, you consider people you don't like as enemies or threats. Does your blood start to boil when you hear that person's name that you don't like? Do you start thinking of reasons why they're an idiot? This is just wasteful thinking, completely wasteful. Number 12, you can't stand people who are not like you. You want everyone to be like you and to measure up to your standards. But we actually become stronger by surrounding ourselves with diversities of skills and talents. The more diverse, the better. You have issues building relationships. Number 13. Mostly, the negative quality of arrogance has a way of turning people away. Being honest or vulnerable attracts people to you. Number 14. You shield your inferiority with a superiority complex. You ever notice that with arrogant people? They use this invincible front to protect their vulnerableness. If you want to expose them, just ask them how long have they been that way. They'll say, what do you mean? You can say, acting so superior when it's obvious that you're hurting or trying to hide something. You don't have to act this way around me. You show false charm to draw attention to yourself. But this is not sustainable because it's not genuine. So, okay, I've listed 15 ways of possible arrogance. So let's be honest with ourselves. How many of them apply to you? Nearly all of them have applied to me during some time of my life, and they still can. But being aware of these arrogant qualities helps me focus on being humble and not arrogant. I can better catch myself when I go drifting down that path of behavior. I hope these last two topics on arrogance and how it can lead to your downfall has really helped you. The downfall from arrogance is not an if, it's a when. I'm speaking from a lot of experience in this area. It's a certainty. So until 2 weeks from now, this is BiXX signing off. And remember, it's never too late to reinvent yourself. Cheers.